Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Sultan, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yes, cool. I'm Andrea, but you can call me Andy if that is easier.
Okay. How are you, Henry?
I'm good. It's Sunday. It's like a chill
Mm-hmm.
day. I took the dog for a walk. I'm gonna go see my friends at our favorite like bar restaurant a little later. And
Right.
it's a good day. How's your day gone? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but originally I'm from Pakistan.
Oh, okay. So,
Mhm.
um, you live in Saudi Arabia now because of work or family?
Exactly. Yes, because of
Mm,
work.
okay.
So I got a job over here in 2019, and since
Mhm.
I have been living over here with my family.
Ah, wait, so your family is in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. And then you moved there right before the pandemic,
Yes. Yes.
kinda. Yeah.
Yes. Almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is your work? What do you do?
So I'm a teacher by profession. I teach English in an international school.
Nice.
I teach fourth grade students, and my subject is English. The reason
Mhm.
why I am on Cambly is to practice my English, hone my skills,
Yeah.
improve my fluency.
Nice. So, have you always wanted to be a teacher or have you been other things before?
So when I was growing up, there were so many things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there were so many things, but I was completing my masters in the evening. So
Mhm.
I couldn't do anything in the evening,
Mhm.
and I wanted to have such a job from where I could finish it in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So only teaching was the job which was suitable.
Mm.
So I started teaching.
Teaching English or something else?
I started teaching with maths.
Ah, okay. Basic math or like younger grade math or
I still remember. I taught seventh grade students.
oh, okay, okay. So started with math and then what made you change to English?
So even at that time, I was learning English, and
Mhm.
I completed one English language learning course from an institute. That's why I also started teaching English.
Mhm.
So I was at that time, I was good at English, or you can say I had interest
Mhm.
in teaching grammar.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
And
so that's why I started. Mhm.
you had been speaking English for a while before?
So this is also an interesting story because when I was in school,
Mhm.
although it was an English medium school, but I didn't have chance to speak English because our teachers used to speak the native language, that is Urdu,
Mhm.
and the education was like focused on grammar and written English rather than
Mhm.
spoken English.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the problem. Although I was in an English medium school, I was not able to speak English.
Interesting.
Yeah. So after my graduation, one of my friend asked me to take admission in an English language learning school or
Mhm.
institute. So I
Mhm.
went there. I started studying there, and after few months, I found it interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what made it interesting to you? Was it just like you started
So
understanding it more?
yeah, you can say because as I told you that my favorite subject at even at that time was maths,
Yeah.
and when I learned grammar, so it was more like maths. Like
Oh,
these are the
yeah.
rules,
Yeah.
the
Grammar is
structures.
like math.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's why it started making sense to me.
uh-huh.
I started taking pleasure in learning grammar and English. But
Wow.
even at that time, I was not good at speaking English
Right.
because I was introverted. I'm still like the same.
Yeah.
So I I didn't want to talk to others, or maybe
Mm,
you can say I didn't have words to say at that time.
mm. Speaking is a whole other muscle.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that is how I started my English learning journey.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm curious too because right now I'm learning Spanish and
Right.
I um I am still very much at the beginning stages of it, and it is that same thing too, where um,
Mhm.
I feel I feel like I'm at a plateau of of kind of learning or that curiosity, that like intense want is.
Mhm.
I'm like frustrated because I'm at this kind of part where I know that once I kind of break over this next little hill, then
Right.
because once you start understanding more, you can become
Mhm.
more curious about stuff. But it's
Exactly.
just like, it's so, and I know that in the beginning stages, you have to have the most patience with yourself. Like, would you say that's the hardest point of learning a language is the beginning? What would you say?
Yes, you can say the beginning is the hardest point, but for me it was not.
Yeah.
Since like we actually English is a compulsory subject for us, like since the childhood.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been in your like zone for a while.
Yes. So we were familiar with the rules,
Mm,
but we never like gave them attention or focus.
yeah.
So it was like that. But you are right that there is a plateau in learning anything where you think that maybe you are stuck and
Yeah.
you are not learning anything
Yeah.
because you cannot see the result.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's yeah, and I totally know that it's just takes time. Just takes time and practice. How long
Right.
have you been using Cambly for?
I've been using Cambly for 2 years now,
Okay.
but on and off. I
I
haven't
see.
been regular on Cambly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it does help?
So I think in order to speak English, because that was my mistake,
Yeah.
I still have a notebook in which I have written thousands of words,
Hmm.
thousands of idiomatic expressions, and thousands of phrasal verbs.
Hmm.
So maybe I think uh, at that time I used to think that if I'm writing them, so they are in my mind, I can
Yeah.
retain them in my memory, but I was totally wrong. In order to like speak English,
Yeah.
you need to practice speaking.
Yeah.
In order to like improve your listening, you need to listen English. In
Yeah.
order to improve writing, you need to write English. So what I was doing, I was listening English, I was writing English, I was reading English, but I was
Hmm.
not speaking English. And one reason for that is I think, as I told you, that I was introverted, so I wanted to be all alone,
Yeah.
and I always kept myself to myself instead of speaking with others. And
Hmm.
the second reason for not speaking or practicing with others was that I used to think that maybe if I make any mistake, so people will laugh at me. People would
Yeah.
like it would be embarrassing like
Hmm.
this. So those were the mistakes which I was making, and I was not practicing speaking English. But on Cambly, I have only 2 days, like 2 days for a week, and I don't think so that it's enough. You need to
Yeah.
speak on daily basis. You need to give time to it and try. I also, I think that I should also start speaking English at home as well.
Uh-huh. How it like do you live with other people, or do you mean you would just who would you be
So I
speaking to?
I am with my wife, but I rarely speak English with her.
Mhm. Does
Yes.
she speaks English, I guess?
She speaks English, but not fluent English.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's hard too, right? Like when you're used to a relationship in a certain language or whatever, and then you want to switch, into because that's the thing too. Like I have a bunch of friends who, well, they speak a lot better English than I do Spanish, but
Right.
like they very well, like I could try to speak Spanish with them, but it's like, it's just too much weird effort at that point, and it's
Mhm.
like if they can speak, then and so paying for it and doing this, I mean, it really is like what you need, and I think it's like it does help with having like a block of time where you like, this is I'm doing this now.
Right. Right.